ready? We'll give it the magic wand.
Hey y'all, and welcome back to The Seams Between Us. We're your hosts. I'm the Sassy Stitcher.
And I'm Dr. Stitcher. And this week we're keeping it short and sweet and just full part and just a lot of good quilt binding.
We wanted to hop on and give you guys a quick update on Wrap Taxes in Love project and the incredible response we've seen so far over the last couple of weeks. Kind of touch base on some other fun things happening around. And then we've got a short little interview. If you check out the YouTube, it's a video in here. I feel like there's one other thing, but who knows?
Well, you never know. You know,
You never know.
it's always a little crazy and life gets in the way. What I will say is it's just hard to believe we're a little over a month out from when that tragedy did happen. And it just seems like it's been so long, but it really hasn't been that much time. And quilters are just busy quilting here in Amarillo. They are pumped up about making sure that their best goes to those girls in Kerrville. They're really laboring over the pattern and the fabric choices. And you're in Austin, you don't get to see the boxes that come in, but just the notes that come with it. We got a box in from some sweet ladies and everyone signed it and wrote a little note. And so we will post that in the reels, but just such sweetness, such heart. The one I got the other day came from California. I think that was yesterday. And it said, just hoping to put a smile on the face of those that have lost so much. It's just my little way of giving back. And so, I've heard over and over again from the quilters that I've met with that, when you've been blessed, you give back. And the joy of that is giving back and seeing those smiles on those faces, or maybe just a little bit of comfort. So I think that's just the coolest piece of it. We are setting at just over 200 completely completed. That doesn't include all the tops we have. And the other things still in the works, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But I'm very pleased with that number in just a month. And people have talked about the fact that if you didn't have a stash, then you're busy quilting, you're busy putting it together, and then it has to be quilted. So it's taken some time. I average maybe 3 quilts a day quilting. I kind of slowed down a little bit, took a little break, did a few other things before I got burned out. But just thinking about the comfort and joy that it's going to bring those girls just brings me such happiness and just puts a smile on my face. And every time I open a box and look at the happiness in every quilt and think about the stitches of love in every one of those quilts, and they usually say they've been prayed over and very thoughtfully contemplated. So I know you picked up a few in Austin, so talk about that.
And I picked up, I want to say like 8, and some of the ladies in the shop were convinced there were a few more. The owner wasn't positive they knew where they were, so I'm going to go back on Friday and check them out. I'll also be they're having a like open house for all of their, every quarter they do like a little open house for all the classes they're going to have, so you can meet the teachers, kind of get an idea what the class is going to be, and then sign up, which I think is fun because sometimes it's hard to be like, what are you talking about, when you just read the little thing online. And it's just like a fun day. Everybody's at the shop. It's fun.
I'm sad I won't be there.
I know, you should be. I ordered some flyers from Old Office Depot. I was going to just print them at my office, and I decided that was a lot of ink, and I didn't want to do that. So I let Office Depot do it for me. So I'm going to take some flyers that we can hand out that day. So that was a good one. I think one of the things, this was my other, we can come back to this, but one of the things I think we talk about every time, oh man, we should have talked about that, is we are doing this for funsies. Yeah, we're not, we're doing other things. So like, fully admit we are behind on the podcast again this week. So we're moving the goalpost slightly to Wednesdays is going to be up, is the plan. With football season rolling in, if you know me,
And school is starting again. Like Professor Allen has to come out.
Professor Allen's been at baseball a lot, so we were ambitious on what our weekends could look like. And we keep getting to like, oh no, we did not have time to do that. So we're going to push the goalpost out a little bit because I actually think it might be easier to record during the week than the weekend. Hi, Maverick. Maverick, if you're watching the video, it's on. He's a cute little puppy. But yeah, also we're doing this for like funsies and like, this is not our job. We both have full-time real jobs. Some of us might have kind of two jobs. Like a crazy person. I'm running a whole business with associates and doing my work with kiddos and on top of all of these things. And so we ask for a little bit of, grace and kindness as we figure out the schedule part. We really jumped into launching this podcast and this project with very little planning or concept of what we were doing. So
we just knew it needed to happen. So, I mean, I think that's a great thing. And you say, I might be a crazy person, I might be. I have lost two very dear quilting friends in the last couple of days. But out of that has come some good. We've gotten a lot of cool fabric to make quilts for Kerrville. So their stash is coming to the shop. And I love that. And they are so excited. And so I've had some people just yeah, they would be so excited. So we have been busy using that AccuQuilt and cutting 5-inch squares and 2.5-inch strips. And so Friday at Quilt Links in Amarillo, we will be having a sew day for Kerrville. So we'll have that on this Friday, and then we'll have it again on the 26th. The ladies are pumped up, excited. They were going to go home and look at their patterns of what they could do with 5.5-inch squares. And they were like, what do you want me to do? And I'm like, I want you to be creative. I think that's the coolest thing about it. And most of them are widows as well. So, in grief usually blossoms something new, a new chapter, a new life, a new purpose. And so I think it's kind of given these ladies a new purpose and a new excitement. And they are so excited that they're getting to do these for this girls. So
but I
I'm
love
excited.
that. Yeah, that was a good thought process too. The other thing, we have said all along, we're in this for the long haul. We're in this until we get our goal. If that means we're both making an absurd amount of quilts, that means we're both making an absurd amount of quilts, and that's just where we've decided we are. We fully recognize that there are so many places people are donating their time and their talent and all of these things too. There are lots of drives going on, whether it's for similar projects of this area, whether it's for first responders or veterans, or I saw one just a minute ago on the one of my Facebook groups for I think it was cancer, something with a hospital. They were I think it was cancer because it was like the people sitting while they were getting chemo. So we fully recognize too that you guys all have lives and are doing so much, and you could choose any of these things to donate your stuff to, and it would be so appreciated. And we're just really grateful for the people who tune in each week with us here, but also are giving their time and their creative energy to this project.
So if you have said and you have thought, you know what, I don't have anything made, we still got time because we have not put a time limit on it. What I'm going to tell you is, I said Professor Allen gets to roll out. Well, Professor Allen lives in the Panhandle and she works for a university down in Beaumont, Lamar. And so I got to roll into Lamar next week and go to some convocation in service, see my professor friends. I'm pretty excited. Then I get to slide by and see the Sassy, and we get to do some handy quilter training.
You know what? We could record next week's in the same room.
Hey, we could, but let me finish. So I have two ladies in the Fort Worth, Dallas area that have been collecting. So they are expecting me to come through. So I'm going to see how many they have to determine whether I'm going to pick them up on my way down or on my way back up. And so I'm excited about that. And I also have a lady that contacted us in the very beginning when we first posted back on July 6th. And she said, she said, will you call me? And so I said, sure. So I called her and she goes, are you the original poster? And I said, yeah, I thought that was kind of weird, but I said, yes, I am. And she goes, well, my sister-in-law in Kentucky got your message about Wrap Texas in Love, and I want to know a little more. So I kind of talked to her about it. And she said, well, I gathered quilts and took them to North Carolina when the hurricane came through. And she said, I want to do the same for you guys. But here's the caveat to that. She said, I don't want to put them in a box. She said, we've never been to Amarillo, Texas. So we are going to Yosemite in the fall, in
Well,
the
this lady,
September. Yeah. And she said, we have decided we're going to dip down to Amarillo, drop those quilts off, meet you, and then go to Yosemite because we have not been there. So
for
I
those of you
cannot
not
wait
looking
with
at a
her.
map, that's not really a small dip. It's a big dip.
It's a big dip. So I am pretty pumped about that. Wow, my sleeves look really
Really
like
fluffy.
angel wings today, don't they? So I am excited about that. And I'm going to tell you another thing, another box, and it was the one that had the sweet card in it from everybody. And it was from, and I'm gonna look it up because I don't want to get the name wrong. A quilting situation and the Stitch and
Excellent,
Pine
excellent name,
Retreat.
excellent name.
And it is in Alto, New Mexico,
Oh,
next to Ruidosa, New
that's
Mexico. And they have been flooding, guys. They have been flooding. And they took the time to sign a sweet card and send quilts in a box. And they are suffering just as much as the people in the hill country. So I'm telling you, people are coming out of the woodworks. They want to cover these girls in love. And they know what it means. They know what it means for somebody to say, I care about you and I want to give back. So I just think
oh,
that is sweet. The clip you're going to see today is my friend Pat Edelman she's from Claude. She lives in Howardwick now. And she took the time. If there's a donation to be had, she is on it. I mean, she is on it. She always gives back. She gives back to her volunteer fire department. She gives back to a trap shoot that raises scholarship money. She has the biggest heart I've ever seen, and I think she's dropped off 3 herself and is still working on 3 or 4 more. And then she's taken some home to bind after I've got them quilted. Just the sweetest lady. And she gave to North Carolina as well. So there's another North Carolina. And so she kind of made a friend with who she donated to. And so that friend sent us some quilts from North Carolina. So
oh.
she's going to talk about that. And I would love at some point just to talk to both of them. So maybe we can make that happen. But we've got some other things in the works for future that will roll out as we get it all lined out. But I'm loving seeing the happiness, the joy that's bringing these ladies that have been dealt some sadness that they get to give back and do something for somebody else. And so
I had a really cute moment in my office with one of my clients that's connected to this event. I have a lot of quilts in my office and I have themed them to match my office, or I try to, like I'm thinking about a Halloween one because I want to do some fun festive in there. Why not? And so the kiddo looks at me and they were like, you've got a lot of blankets. And I was like, I know, sometimes we get cold. And they kind of laughed at me and then they were like, are you sure it's not for fort building? And I was like, it could be. We could build some forts. So we took all of these like quilts I had in my office and built a fort throughout my whole play therapy office. And as I was like sitting there, we ended up doing the rest of the session in the fort with the stuffies and obviously it's not slime. What is that? Like putty. I don't do slime in my office because I have carpet and
thinking putty.
yeah, thinking putty. So we did it in there and we were just talking and I was having a moment of like all of these girls that are going to getting these quilts. This is part of like the future of their life is just like it's in these everyday normal kid moments where this kid was talking about some really hard things in the quilt in the fort under the quilt. And just that's the life kind of these quilts are going to. And I thought that was a really, I don't know.
And our hope is it's something that they will cherish all through the years. And as I'm looking behind you at a painting, I see a painting that your great grandmother painted.
Yeah.
Uh, so I think that is cool. I mean, that's a treasure that you get to keep and you get to remember the time she spent with them. And so I hope that this quilt brings them some comfort and some joy and gets the happy times of camp back to them.
Just
And
childhood moments that they get to have.
and maybe how much they've grown. I mean, I think it's interesting when you hit some trauma and you can look back and you can say, "Oh, look how far I've come."
Oh,
Uh,
absolutely.
I
Yeah.
knew you would love that.
Speaking about language, that's like half of the, as we're ending therapy, talking about just how much they've grown and changed and learned and matured and like how far they've come. That's why I do, it's not a great party story to be like, I work with grief and trauma and children, but like when you get to see how they come in and then how much they grow in the end, it makes it worth it every time.
Because I can relate. I can say that I started quilting after your dad passed away a couple of months after that. And the colors I chose were very telling of where I was. Grays,
Mhm.
blacks, dark colors. I've turned into a much more fun, bright colored person now. But now we're kind of talking about maybe we need to go back to the earth tones for a little bit. But um I can
Yeah.
just see I can see the difference in myself. And I think other people can see the difference in myself. And it just takes some time to work on it and
That,
just a
yeah.
little comfort in it.
That also just makes me want to like put side by side some of my quilts I've made in the process and see the, yeah,
See the growth. Yeah.
growth, see the things. Let's see.
So things we still need. If you
Yep.
want to be a drop-off location in other parts of Texas, we can certainly get you on our social media and get you pushed. And then we can make arrangements to either pick them up or something along the way.
Mhm.
I mean, we go multiple directions. I have to go multiple directions, so we can certainly make that happen. Um, look for a quilting guild near you, and or if you're in Amarillo, find us at Quillwinks, or find Tiffany in Austin. And if you have some fabric you need to donate, want to donate, need to get out of your stash,
Love that.
we will take that. Batting, we will take that. Reminder, we are taking tops. I took some fleece blankets, and they're the cutest things I've ever seen. And
Yeah.
so some girls might rather have a fleece blanket rather than a quilted one. And I'm okay with
Yeah.
that. It took time. It took love to tie those knots. It's fine. We are not turning anything down. Um, and if you long arm, and we've got a lot of
But
quilt tops, if you
practice,
long
yeah,
arm,
it's a great
great
way to
time to
practice.
practice, great time to kind of use your skills to share with others. So spread the word, get your other quilting friends in it, make a little challenge, you
Love that.
know.
You're in a guild or you know of a, I don't know, and is a guild what we call the group? Is that, are they all called guild?
Yeah, I think they're called guilds.
I don't know.
Well,
If
I
you're
don't.
in a quilty group, you with your quilty besties, and you guys want to do something together, that we love that. If you know of a quilty guild and you want to share the
Or
project,
quilting ministry. Some of them call it a quilting ministry.
there we go. There we go. Yeah. So yeah, we're really still in the like kind of spreading word, chugging along phase.
We're in the long haul. This is not going to be this. We knew it when we started. It wasn't going to be a quick adventure.
Why we
We have,
didn't start quickly. We really slow ramped ourselves into starting, so we did it well.
and we know others ramped up and went quickly. That is fine. Other people needed things. Our goal was to cover the girls at Camp Mystic and the other camps around there. So, again, spread that word. If you've got projects that you've made or you're working on a quilt and you want to post it to our social media, we would
Yeah,
love to see pictures. I mean, I think that
shoot
would be so much
me.
fun.
My email's on the socials. It's on the Facebook page. Shoot me an email. It's out there. I can add it to our socials. Or we can do the whole Instagram collab thing where like we collab on the same. You post it and hit collab. I can walk you through how to do that. And it posts on both of our pages, which is kind of fun. Yeah. Are you working on any fun just you projects this week?
I'm not, because I got to get a course ready to roll out. Grades were due. I'm fixing to have to take the big trip downstate. So no, I am kind of finishing up some quilting. I'm excited. Tyler has got things boxed up, which is your brother. He's got things boxed up and kind of ready to go when we get ready to go to
Call him
Kirkwood.
the
So,
non-stitcher. What are we gonna call him? He needs a name.
he does a lot of things in wood, just like your dad. So I don't know. Maybe the carpenter stitcher. I don't know.
No, it's not. It's not
We'll
vibing.
we'll figure it out. At some point we'll get him to talk on here. He's like, I don't know about that. And his wife is like, Katie's like, yes, you need to go talk on
I'm
that.
pretty convincing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see.
How about you? What have you? I know you've been working on some big bow.
I found myself in Bowgate. You.
Oh, what is Bowgate? This sounds like dramatic.
Oh man, I love a little drama. So I am in a Facebook group, and there was this whole thing where like somebody posted a picture anonymously of this like really cute quilty bow they made, and was like, I'm really nervous to post it. That's why I'm posting it anonymously. And so many people were really kind and like whatever. And so they came back and said, I'll make a pattern. And they called it something. I can't remember what they called it. I don't want to get it wrong. I'll look it up in a second. Uh, And then a couple days later, someone else posts a bow and a pattern, like 2 or 3 days later. But it wasn't the same bow. But people were confused because
Did it have a similar name?
they called it a similar name. And so it was like one word. One was like the big, I'm gonna look it up. Let me.
It's very cute. I told
It's
you
a
it needed
whole.
to be in green for Camp Mystic, and you
Well,
said
mine is a
now it's
little.
Halloween.
Mine is Halloween. So, anyways, as I look up this name, let's see. Actually, I can do it this way, and we'll post the link. Oh, this is the wrong group. That's why it's not pulling her up. That's not helping me. Okay, so the correct one is, she didn't say what it's called here. Why would you do that to me? It's not her fault. The big giant quilted bow. So the other one was like the big beautiful quilted bow or something like that. So the big giant quilted bow. I will post the Etsy link because it was actually
It's
really fun to
cute.
do. So like I made mine. If you're seeing the video, you'll get to see. I'll put it on the thing. Isn't it so cute?
It is
Oh,
so
my
cute.
colors. It's like a
I think
little.
I think I need one of those in my office.
Thank you, Mike. It was really pretty fast to make. I ended up making like one slight adjustment from the person's pattern. And I had like one complication because I tend to use 6-ounce weighted batting, and that was probably not my greatest plan. But I figured out how to adapt it so I could just keep, because that's what I have on a roll. So that's what I have in my house. But yeah,
Which is
so
the batting we
anyway,
truly love.
so then, yeah, I love my 6-ounce bamboo batting. You have opinions about batting. This is the right one. So yeah, Bowgate. This other girl posted, and a bunch of people bought her pattern, thinking it was the original bow. And then the original bow came out and was like, "Hey, I really hate to do this, but like this is the original bow. This is mine, and I really have been working hard all week to make a pattern. Do people still want it?" And the people were like, yeah, we bought the other one and it wasn't what we wanted. We wanted yours." So she like called out this other girl for like taking her idea and stealing her whole thing. So I side messaged the girl and I was like, "Hey, this just happened to me in my world. And I just am really proud of you for speaking up for yourself and like acknowledging that you were the original poster and it was your idea. And your bow's the one I wanted." I kept looking at the other being like, "That's not it. It's not cute. It's not the right fluffiness of it." Because it is just so fluffy.
Not like
And
not like Dr. Stitcher's
kind of
sleeves
like your
today.
wings there. And so she then asked me to pattern test so we could get this thing out quickly. So I spent a lot of time this weekend pattern testing this bow, and literally I was making it and I was like, "I'm gonna have to make like 12 more of these." It almost instantly. Yeah. So there was like one adjustment I made to like so that I can
Because it was too thick for your sewing machine.
Yes, it was too thick for my sewing machine, so I had to adjust. And then the like tie that puts the two pieces together, I put a magnet on there so that I could take it apart to fold it to store. Because if I'm gonna make all the seasonal ones, I can't store it like this. That takes up a lot of space. And it's gonna get smushy, and I don't want to smushy it. But I'm really obsessed with her.
Yeah, I think that's probably the worst when you come up with a good idea and you kind of put yourself out there and you're scared to, and then somebody just jumps on and takes it as their own. I think it's happened to me in the educational world.
Happened in the
But you know
quilting.
what? What did she say? The truth always wins.
Yes. Truth and light always win. And I was like, "You're right." Because yeah, I think it's so hard, especially in the creative quilty world, to create like she made up this pattern. She made up this idea to put this thing out there and be vulnerable enough to be like, "I made a thing. Do you guys like it?" And then for somebody to come in and just like pull the rug out from underneath you and steal your whole idea. And you're like, "Well, I don't want to be the like witchy person who calls this person out, but like that was kind of my idea." And like I think in some ways social media lets us do that because it feels more anonymous. We don't have to look the person in the face when we steal their thing or their idea.
Which honestly may be why the lady from Ohio said, "Are you the original poster?"
I feel like she might have been burned at some point or like had this experience. And so yeah, I just like I thought it was a fun, a good topic here, and we might come back and I might see if Lindsay, the bow creator, wants to come on at some point and talk about the process or Bowgate. You never know. Um, because
But
it
I
is
do love that she took the high road.
she did.
Truth in
And
life
I
always
really
win.
respected that. And I was also just like really proud. I was not trying to be a pattern tester when I messaged her. I was just trying to be like, go girl, way to like speak up for yourself, but also take the high road. But also, I will buy that pattern because that's the one I wanted. That was the bow I wanted in the first place. Um, and so I'm a little obsessed with bows. If you can't tell, I feel like I almost always have a bow. I love a good bow. So this was right in my wheelhouse
I
of
still
things.
think it would be beautiful in green. You know how hard it was to find big green ribbon after the flood?
Yeah,
Girl.
because all I'm in Austin, all of the HEBs were out.
I'm
No,
going
I
to tell
do
you
think
this: there's not going to be any green ribbon for Christmas because everybody went to Hobby Lobby in the Christmas section,
they
bring them out. Yes, which I love. I love that.
think about that.
You
Okay.
got
Yeah, my
you got to
plan,
be
my next
creative,
one is
girl.
gonna be a greens. Well, I had a backup set of fabrics I was gonna use. The Ruby Star Animal line.
Huh?
That's what I originally was gonna do, and then I remembered I had this fabric. That's my job. I'm sure someone's walking. I might do that animal just to like test out the parts that kind of didn't go great for me with using the thicker batting. But yeah, I don't have a lot of green fabric. But I do think a shades of green one would be really fun. So it's in my brain to do one. I'm also thinking I gotta figure out, do you know how to do you want to put snaps in?
Yeah, we can talk about that when I come by.
Okay. Because I think that might be a way to like help that big back piece that couldn't go in my machine. Could just do it snaps.
Oh yeah,
And then it comes apart and folds flat to go into
I told
my
you Velcro. Velcro's great too.
that's true. That's true. I got a zipper and I don't know how I feel about it. It didn't arrive today. I'm gonna
If I can run away from a zipper, I'm running away from a zipper.
yeah, I'm a little scared of it. But it could work.
That's the girl who makes bags. I'm going to run away from zippers. I put zippers in, but they're not my favorite thing.
I've avoided. I still have like 3 incomplete bags. Maybe that needs to be a goal to finish at least one of them.
There you go. I got to quote Christmas, and then I will have hit one of mine. So I'm pumped.
Yeah, so that's Bowgate. See if we have an update there. What else do I have? Do you know what happened last night at 12:12 a.m. Eastern
Oh,
time?
Taylor, baby. Taylor released a
Taylor,
new
my
album.
girl, she didn't release a new album. She told us it's coming. So TS12, you're a Swiftie. Oh, so amped, waiting for it coming. And I, like a crazy person, she just literally, so we had a countdown. It's burnt orange glitter vibes. I am dying with this color. Texas, X's, and all the Texas social medias are having a heyday with the burnt orange glitter, which I'm loving. And so the countdown ends, what would have been, it was 11:12 Central, 12:12 Eastern. And it ends and it immediately opens to just being able to pre-order the new album. And we get the title, just The Life of a Showgirl. I'm dying.
I know.
And then, and I, like a crazy person, was convinced, because this is what she does to us sometimes, that if I didn't pre-order it right then, I would not be able to get it, to get my vinyl copy. So I immediately pre-ordered, but that meant I had to sit in the queue to purchase because I was fast, man. Within a minute, I was in the queue, but I still had to wait 49 minutes to purchase my pre-order.
It's like waiting in line for World Series tickets. It takes forever.
You're just like sitting there staring at your computer, like watching the countdown. You're like, come on, come on. I do want to go to bed. I do actually want to go to sleep tonight. I woke up this morning. I could have just got him this morning. I don't know if I got him earlier, if I'll get it earlier. I don't know. But I will, when we finish here, I'm going to go watch the New Heights podcast because she was on that with Travi and old Jason tonight to give us some more details. And I'm very excited. I love a good T Swift.
You know what's in town this weekend? The Big Amarillo.
The circus? More baseball.
Baseball.
So shocked.
Assad poodles are back. It's very sad that I have a bunch of props behind me.
Kind of dangerous, actually.
You know, whatever a girl needs. Yeah, the sod poodles are back in town, so I am pretty pumped about that. I love baseball probably as much as I love quilting, and it's my happy place. There's no place like the diamond and home. And so they are back in town. They are on top in the league for the second half, so maybe we'll go to the playoffs. My Rangers are doing well. I am pumped about baseball. This girl loves some baseball.
She really does. I am nerve sided. Texas was ranked #1 in the preseason coaches poll. We have never to I don't think we've ever been ranked #1, and I do not like it. I'm very nervous. The hype is scaring me. But I also can see them practicing every day when I drive to work, and they're looking really good.
Oh, good.
So I'm feeling excited. Arch is like hitting them. Sometimes I sit, I drive down the street so I can kind of watch through the fence. I'm not alone. Other people do this. But yeah, it's really nerve-wracking to like actually be ranked and be ranked 1 and then just don't want to get my hopes up. I'm so afraid to get my hopes up.
Oh, I know. Kind of
We're
like me.
walking into
Hopefully we won't go
Ohio
to the
State.
playoffs. I don't know, but
Here we go. So yeah, football season's about to start. So I'm about to, Taylor Swift and football season. This is like my World
it only
Series.
makes me sad because my baseball season ends.
Well,
But I do love some college football.
I'm very excited. I'm ready.
Oh, I've went. Did you see my cute little grandson go to his first day of kindergarten?
You see his sassy little Snapchat back to me when I asked him.
I missed it, but I'm guessing it was horns down.
He's like told me about his day, and then he made a friend, and he was going to make more friends. And I was like, "Had a boy, kid." We Snapchat back and forth. And then all of a sudden, with a bad influence of his dad, who I could tell was sitting beside him, he all of a sudden was like, "Horns down, guns up," and I was like, "Come on, man, we were having a cute moment." Such a cute moment.
Did Allie join in?
No, this was like in the truck on the way to school, I think, this morning.
That might be a fun podcast. The 4 grandchildren.
We might have to vitamin check.
Because James Patrick is quite a handful.
He's a mess.
And Allie's a little sassy monster like you. Theo's just sweet. And then I'm not sure what Emerson is going to be.
I think she's coming to the sassy side.
I think she might. I said, what are you thinking? Naming the last 2 after your mom and dad. What you going to get? We'll see.
Brave choices on their part.
Well, if you are listening and you have not gotten involved in RAP Texas in Love, there's still time. We are in this for the long haul. Our goal is 1,000, so that we cover all the girls that were at Camp Mystic. That's been our goal all along. I fully believe we're going to get that. It just keeps building. Like I logged 40 today, so very excited about that. We've got a lot of tops out, but if you have tops that need a home, contact one of us and we'll see where you can get them to so we can get those. If you have a finished quilt, if you've got a stack of finished quilts, there is nothing worse than going to an estate sale and finding these quilts for $10, $15 because the kids didn't want them. These will go to a good cause and we can make sure that they get to the right place.
Know someone who has lost a loved one who is a quilter and they've got a bunch of tops or quilts. This is a place they would probably want them to be donated if they don't want them. This is a great spot for that.
Which the sweetest thing was, I said I lost 2 of my quilting friends. Well, the husband of one of them came in, and he's come in before, and I've talked to him, and I said, I'm gonna miss her, and he said, well, she's a great customer at the quilt shop, and I said, I'm gonna miss her conversation. I just love to talk to her. She's been a quilter for a long time. She owned a quilt shop herself before she moved to Amarillo, and wealth of knowledge, and she went really quick. And I told him, I said, well, I've been in your shoes. I said, well, I guess I still am in your shoes. And he looked at me and I go, I lost my husband in 21. And he goes, oh. And so we had that talk, and he goes, well, she liked fabric. And he said, I've got all this fabric. And he said, she said, I'll probably sell some of it. And he said, I'll donate some of it. Do you know a good cause? And I said, Quilts for Kerrville. And he goes, well, talk to me about that. And I did. And he goes, I think she would absolutely love that. And I will bring you some fabric. And so he said, that makes me feel a little happier about about losing her and that it's going to go to a good place. So
Yeah, I
start
think
spreading the word. Have a little challenge. Have a little quick group of yourself. Say, hey, friends, come on over. Let's have some snacks and sew along. I went with the Texas Panhandle Quilts of Honor, which we've done the last 2 times. And we went from 10 till 4 and made 13 tops because things were cut and ready and we just rolled with it. So pre-cuts are a great thing. You have an AccuQuilt, get some of those scraps out and cut those babies, get them done ahead, and then you can just roll, pick up squares and roll. I love the unmatchy. You love the matchy. I love a bunch of patchwork colors, and I think that brings happiness. And I saw you bow up. But I like the matchy matchy too, but there's nothing quite like looking at one of your grandmother's old quilts and thinking, oh, this was a dress she wore. Oh, this was that, because they used what they had and that showed love. So that's probably why I love a little scrappy.
You're also a little bit of chaos and I'm a lot of organized. So this makes some sense.
I'm a little bit of rock and roll, girl.
Rock and roll, that's what we're calling it. All right, well, we appreciate you guys coming along with us for today. Follow us on Instagram at Seams Between Us for updates, find drop-off spots. Find us on Facebook at Wrap Taxes and Love. See the beautiful work that's being shared. I really am going to work hard this week to actually get some reels out and to post up. I have a couple started school starting kids. It's been a lot. We're thankful for the time you spent with us today and the time you spent working on these projects, because life's not perfect, just peace.